Okay, this is question number 23. A store manager collects information about the number of people who visit his store each week. The information collected over a 3-week period is listed below. The number of people that visited the store in week 1 was 3,200. The number of people that visited the store in week 2 was 10% more than week 1. And the number of people that visited the store in week 3 was 15% more than week 2. How many people visited the store in week 3? And there you've got answers ranging from 3,500 to 4,000. Okay? At first glance, this looks a little bit low and this looks a little bit low, but I'm going to reserve until we figure out a few more things. So when I read this question, there's a lot of information here, and sometimes it just doesn't sink in on the first or second or third reading. So if you come across something like this and you just kind of don't get the question at first, totally normal. And what I like to do is, let me see if I can change the way it looks, and that'll help me to kind of see the answer. So they tell us that in week 1 there were 3,200 visitors. In week 2 there's 10% more, and in week 3 there's 15% more than week 2. So they're expecting us to figure out each of these things. So week 1 they give you the information, 3,200 people. But in week 2 it's 10% more. Now when I see 10%, I automatically know how much that is because I've done it several times. It's actually very simple. I'm going to show you really quick what I do. 10% of any number is just that number. Decimal is always at the end of every number if it's not somewhere else. 10% is just moving the decimal one place over, and there you get 10% of the number, which is 3,200. And I'm going to show you how that works. 320, I'm sorry. So it's 3,200 plus 320. 320 is your 10%. 0, 2, 5, 3. So now this is how many people are there in week 2. So one thing to notice, this number comes up as an answer. But we haven't even hit week 3 yet, and we know there's more people. So we can eliminate A as a choice. We can almost eliminate B because it's only 100 people more and 10% was 320. I can safely get rid of answer choice B as well. But let me go back just a second, and I'm going to show you how to figure out 10% of a number if you don't just see it. I'm going to show you that this works. So 3,200 times 10%, which is 10 over 100, and 10 divided by 100 is 0.1. So we can say 3,200 times 0.1. We'll do the multiplication sign. So basically it's 0, 0, 2, and 3. And then we can see we move the decimal over 1, and we get 320. So it's the same thing. I'm going to erase this just for the space. Okay, now moving on. In week 3, it says week 3 is 15% more than in week 2. So week 2, we got 3,520. And we're going to add 15% of 3,520 because it's 15% more. All right. In order to find 15%, we can do this in 2 ways. We can use the 10% thing where, and I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So 3,520. 10% of this number is just moving that decimal over 1, which is 352. Okay, and then 5%, because we need 15, this is only 10%, and I need 5% more. 5% is going to be half of this number, right? And half of 352, you can go ahead and work it out like this. 2 goes into 3 one time, and you end up with 15. 2 times, oops, that should be a 7. 2 times 7 is 14, and you end up with 1. Bring down the 2, and you get 2 times 6 is 12. So 5% is 176. And if you add these together, you get the 15%. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3, 4. That's 528. So it's going to be 3,520 plus 528. So I don't know why I did that. So we're adding 8, 4, and 4. 4048, which you can see right over here. That's answer choice D. But if you don't like all of this method, I'm going to show you another way to do it. And that is just going 3520 times 15%, which is 0.15. So 5 times 0 is 0, 2 times 5 is 10, 26, 3 times 5 is 15, 16, 17. Now put a 0 placeholder. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 2, 1 times 5, and 1 times 3. 0, 0, 8, 12, 3, 4, 5. If you notice, I should go up so I can keep my numbers lined up. 3, 4, 5. So, and I've got my decimal point is over 2. So I go over 2 here, and I end up with 528, which is the same thing I got here. All right, so whether you can multiply it out or you can figure it out in pieces. Either way, you get the same number here that you add to 3,520. I was trying to make that clear to see, and I just anyway made a mess of it. So now we got 4,048. So I hope this helps. One note here: 62% of the students that answered this question in 2023 got it right. So it's one of the more difficult problems. But again, just start writing things down. Write down what you know. Go a step at a time. Eliminate answers when you can, and you'll get really close. All right? All right, that's it for now, and I will see you in the next one.